back to my channel. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Welcome newcomers. I hope you like what you see. And if you have any suggestions, opinions, what would you like to see different, please leave in the comments below. I'll be more than glad to create it for you and teach you how it can be done. I want to thank every single one of you right from the start. When I started, you guys have been amazing supporting me and your beautiful comments. Thank you so much. It's also very important to remind you guys that if the video is too fast for you, right up top there's 3 little buttons. You can click there, slow down the video to the speed you would like. Next to it there's a closed caption. You can turn that on. Everything I'll be calling out the stitch will be written down here. You can pause, take notes. If you don't know how to do any of that, which is very simple, in the description box there's a little arrow right below, like a V, below the video. Click there, and that opens up, and it gives you all the details. You can just click on the link that it says how to slow down the video. I also want to ask of you to please consider donating yarn, thread, or funds for the women desperately in need of thread or yarn. They can't afford to buy. They have no means for it. I keep getting asked over and over if I can help. I cannot do it by myself. I can't stress enough to ask you guys on each video I create to ask you for your help. Below the video, there's a little bag money sign. You can leave anything you'd like. Anything counts. It adds up at the end. If everybody pitches in a few bucks here and there, it's, already good enough to get me started to send out thread for these women. In the description box, I also have my PayPal, which you can deposit there yourselves, whatever amount you'd like. Nobody's asking for millions. I would like you guys to put yourselves for 2 seconds in someone's shoes that cannot afford to buy not even one little roll of thread or yarn to create something simple as a flower, which doesn't take that much, or a granny square. It doesn't take that much thread or yarn. It is quite difficult and heartbreaking knowing that these women are in desperate need, and I cannot do it by myself. I'm asking you please to consider, put yourselves in their shoes for 2 seconds. We are very limited in this world. We're not going to bring anything with us when we're gone. The least we can do is help somebody, even if it's one person. We already did our part on helping. Please donate and help. If you want to send, please have a hold of me through Instagram message. I'll give you their name, their address. You can ship it out to them. Some of these women are in islands that have no access to certain sizes of thread or colors of thread. The least we can do is ship them, a few of them. Get them busy. These people suffer through poverty, through mental health, no means of buying. Some are, caregivers with their families, and they create certain patterns and sell to support their families. Let's get together and do this together. I'm asking you, please. So find it in your heart to at least help out. And thank you so much for the ones that already have done their deeds. Thank you. So grateful. So let's get started, everyone. Thank you again for all your support, and please don't forget to give it those thumbs up. It's very important for the video to get circulated. The only way it's going to get circulated and recognized by YouTube is by having those thumbs up and commenting or sharing the video so other people can discover it. This is how they circulate quite often. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's get started. Oh, and before I forget, most of the time I use 3.5 or a 3, sometimes a 4 hook, little one to tuck in loose ends, and of course a pair of scissors. I also like to mention, before I forget, I do have a crochet group on Facebook, a private group. If you do have a profile, you're more than welcome to join us in my group. And I do have also a crochet page in Facebook. I'll link everything below. Also, I have Instagram. I'll link it below. And I do have TikTok. I'll link it below. So there's my email. You have all these options to get a hold of me one way or the other. Okay, just a reminder to let you know. Okay, everyone. So I had just uploaded yesterday the tutorial for this flower for the bedroom set runners that I am doing. I'm actually finishing. I have the last one to do the tutorial. So I did one for the dresser, I did one for the armoire, and these small ones are for the two night tables. I am using 100% 4-ply cotton thread. These are Portugal Brands, but they're the same thickness as Aunt Lydia number 3. So if you're interested in creating with that specific brand, if you want to make it smaller or more, I guess, thinner, you can go Aunt Lydia number 10. The only difference is because of the flowers will be smaller, you will have to add more flowers to it. Okay, but the process is still the same way. This one has no number. It's very thin. It's almost like Aunt Lydia number 10. It's a very bling bling gold. Sometimes it's very hard to see on camera, but it's very shiny. Very, very beautiful. This is baby blue and the white. I'm using a 3.5 hook, a pair of scissors, and of course a small one to tuck in loose ends. Now I will leave below on the description box, right below the video, there's a little arrow. You click there and it opens up below the video, and you can click on the link there to do the flower. So basically what I did first was create a bunch of these center pieces because I have the 3 different colors. So I created a lot of them to get me started, like a whole bunch, maybe like depending upon what you're making. You could be making just a runner for the table. I mean, this is good for a runner, good for anything, for a buffet, for the hallway, for anything, a counter, pretty much living room, whatever you need it for. Anyway, so I did, I think, I'm not sure if it was 100 and something because it's a set that I'm making, so it's pretty long. The dresser is long. And then once I've done the centerpiece, these are 16 double crochets inside of the centerpiece, I did the blue. Now the blue, as you can see here, it's 2 groups of 2 separated by 2 chain and 2 groups of 2 double crochet. So I have 4 double crochet on the same space of these loops with 2 chain space. Okay, and I will show you afterwards if I have enough space on this tutorial to do the tassel. I believe that's what it's called. So I created this to add on the end of my pieces. Now I have started this already because I mean it's very simple to attach. You only attach it on 2 spaces, right? So I'm going to continue because it's the same way for any size you want. You can keep adding for the length or the width on it, as large as you like, as big as you like. So it's just adding flowers into flowers. The only difference that changes is the edge when you're going into the point, which I'll show you here. This one is for the armoire, so it's kind of big. You won't be able to see it completely here on my little table, of course, but try to move this so you can see it better. So it starts with, well, actually I do the center and then I finish the edge. Okay, so it's 2 and then 1. Now, because we need to cut down, we don't add into the 2 places. Okay, we only add 1 on here, 1 on here, of course the 2 here, 1 on there, 1 on there, and then of course 1, 1. Okay, and then I added the little tassel at the end, which is very simple to make. And you'll need like a little square cardboard or something like that. I have this lid. It's from the Q-tip box lid that I use to wrap, to make the edge, the little whatever you call it here, the little string. So I just wrap it 30 times that I did. Now you can make as thick as you want and as long as you want. If you want it longer than your cardboard or whatever you're using has to be longer than this. I didn't want it that long. I mean, this is, I think, perfect size for this. And if I can find my... So I'm just going to do it from here. So it's 6-inch. And you have to do the same size to all of them. You don't want to have them one longer than the other. So you got to make sure that you do the same amount. And then you have to cut the edges properly. So... this one is for the armoire, so 1 and then 2 and then 3, and then it keeps going 3 and then 3, 3 until the length you want, really. Okay, and then once you get to the other side, you will have to do the same thing also. You have to add 2 and then 1. So very simple and very, very gorgeous. I also added the little edge in gold that's done at the end. For some of you that want to do it, I mean, it's up to you. Okay, so I have this one already prepared here. That's to add into the small one that I'm going to the tutorial and create it. So for the night tables, I have 15 flowers. That means I have 3 rows of 3, and then the 2 on the side and the 1, and then on the other side the 2 and the 1. So it gives me a total of 15. And normally that's a standard size for the night tables, unless you really have huge night tables, but normally it's a standard size. So because I have already some prepared here, we don't do the last row because the last row in white, it's to attach on the pattern already. Okay, so let's get started, everyone. I hope you're going to enjoy this tutorial, and let me know what you think about it. So you'll need, of course, you know, a little cardboard, a pair of scissors, and a good pair of scissors, because you need to cut the edges of the tassels so it can become nice and straight. And so pretty much it, right? 3.5, and then I have the small one to tuck in loose ends. Let's get started, everyone. Okay, so I have my 6. I need one more row of 3 to get my 9. Now, like I said, I'll leave the link to the tutorial below for the flower, which is very fast and very easy to create. Now, I've already done my 8 double crochets here in between the groups here, as you will see on the tutorial. I don't know why this is whitening too much out. I think it's because of the black tends to do that, and it's so annoying sometimes, right? I don't want it too dark, but I don't want it too white either. So a single in between the groups, and then 8 double crochet. A single in between the groups, 8 double crochet. Now I've done 3 because I'm going to attach. So I'm going to attach the 2 here, and then once I do the other flower, I'm going to attach it there. So basically what I'm doing is I'm coming in and doing my 4. Since there's 8 double crochets on these paddles, I'm going to do 4. I'm going to attach. So 4 double crochets. Now I'm going to grab it here, obviously, because I need to attach on the both places, right? So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3 on my 4th space, so they can meet the same way, and then come back. So I did a single, come back and do my 4 double crochets again. So that gives me the total of my 8 double crochets for my paddle. Very simple, very fast, nothing to it. I'm going to come into the center here, do my single, and then do my 4 double crochets again, because remember, we have to attach it on both loops there on the paddles. So I have my 4 double crochets. Now I'm going to attach it back to back. 1, 2, 3 on my 4th one with a single. I'm going to come back, create my 4 double crochets again. I don't know where you guys are at, but let me tell you, here in the island, it's been a nightmare of heat. So it's like unbearable. I feel so bad for the elderly that have to put up with this heat, especially if they don't have AC in the house. Okay, so single, and then you continue to do your paddles, close it in on the 3rd space, cut your thread, and start creating the next flower. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to create the next flower, because then we need to attach it here and here. Okay, so I'll meet you on my next flower. Simple as that. So I finished attaching. I've created already another one. So I did my 4 double crochets. I'm going to attach it here, here, and here, and then here and here. Okay, so after I've done my 4 double crochets, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3 on my 4th one, single. Then come back and do the 4 double crochets. Single in between the groups and 4 double crochets again. So we can attach it on the next paddle. This makes perfect gifts for Christmas too, people, you know, or for people that are selling. Your best is selling in sets. It will sell easily. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then close in with your single on the 4th, and then come back and do your 4 double crochets. Okay, and again, single, do your 4 double crochets. We're going to attach them now on the top middle one. So very simple, nothing to it, right? Then you're going to come to the middle piece, this one here. 1, 2, 3 on the 4th one. And then come back, do your single for the attachment, come back and do your 4 double crochets. Single. And 4 more double crochets to attach the second paddle. Come back, 1, 2, 3 on your 4th one, and you've attached your last one here. And then of course, depending upon how many rows, how large you want your runner to be. Now here in Europe we have a most common style is these runners on your dining room, a long one hanging from one side to the other, and then a smaller one hanging on the largeness of the table in the center, so like a cross, let's say. We use that a lot in the dining room. So if you want to make something different for yourself, then you can use that too. Eventually one day I'll take pictures and do it like that, and gives you something else to see and to do. Okay, so then you can finish creating the rest of your good heavens, of your 8 double crochets, because you only attach in those 4 places. So I have my 8, my single, and then create again 8 double crochets. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up my 3rd one, because it's just, you know, the same attachment on the 4 places, 2 on one flower and 2 on the next, exactly as we just did. And I'm going to finish the last flower and then come back to you on the 2 flower only at the edge. 2, 4, 6, 7, and 8, and show you how I attach it so you don't get confused or make a mistake, because there's no point of keep repeating how to attach these. You could always rewind, go back and do and look at it. Okay, so now I've attached here and here. Now I'm going to create my last one, because I'm only using 9 for my center. These are for the night table. I'm going to attach it here and here and here and here, and then I'll come back to you so we can attach the 2 and then the last one. Okay. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much finished adding my last one, as you can see. So it's always added in 2 into 2, 2 into 2, so not complicated. Now I'm going to do my edge, because my night tables, the length will be enough because of adding the edge on that side and adding on this side. So I've done a few leaves here already, or loops, not loops, petals I should say. I did my 4 double crochets. Now because I'm attaching only into 2 places, I'm going to grab the one next to the center here. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3 on my 4th, come back and do my 4 double crochets. 2, 3, and 4. Come back in. This would be beautiful, like in red, also, like almost like roses, right? With white or whatever color you desire, Christmas colors. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so I'm going to attach it now on the one that's closest to the center here also. 1, 2, 3 on my fourth one. Trying to get that diamond shape, right? 3, 4 double crochets, and then just finish up the rest of the paddles, because only on the next one we're going to do the attachment into these two here, and then the top here, and then there. Okay, so we'll be attaching in 4 places. So I'm going to finish my petals up and come back to you with the next flower, everyone. So I'm going to attach it now, these two, this one, and this one. Okay, same thing as we have here. I'm going to attach it here. And then as we have here, I'm going to attach it here. And of course these two. So I'm going to grab my flower here on the second one. 1, 2, 3 on my fourth. Same way as we've been attaching. 2, 3, and 4. A single in between the groups, and again 4 double crochet, I'm going to attach it on the second one now. So 1, 2, 3 on my fourth one, do my 4 double crochets, do my single, do my 4 double crochets, always in between the loops, the 2 chain, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm going to attach it here, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, and on my fourth, do my 4 double crochets, come and do my single, 4 double crochets, and I'm going to attach it on my last one. So now I'm going to attach the one closest to the center. 1, 2, 3 on my fourth, back to back, and complete the rest. Cut your thread and prepare the last flower. Seven and my 8. Do my single, come to the top, close it in, cut my thread, grab smaller hook to tuck in the loose end, pull it to the back, in between loops back here, like that, to hide it. And if you leave enough string on it, you can make a knot to make sure that nothing comes apart. Also want to remind you that I use laundry softener to oh my god, I can't think of the name now. Can you imagine that? I can't think of the name. It must be the heat. Too much of a heat wave here. Instead of using starch, you know, block there. Finally, I got it out of my brain. So I use any softener, laundry softener will do. So I spray it, I stretch, and I let it dry in a flat surface. Okay, So now we've got the two. We just need attachment here and attachment here for our last one. Okay, so I got it prepared. I did my 4 double crochets. I'm going to come to the one closest to the center and also with this one. So 1, 2, 3 on my 4th one. Do my 4 double crochets. Do my single in the center between the 2 groups. Do my 4 double crochets. And come to the closest one in the center. 1, 2, 3, and on my 4th, and close it up. Now what I'm going to do is complete the other side. You have to repeat exactly the same thing on the other edge. There's no need for me to record it. All you have to do is just rewind a bit. And once I'm done, I'll come back to you and show you how I do the gold all the way around the flowers, which is just done with slip stitch. Okay, so basically this is what it is. Okay, so I'll complete the other side, come back, and then go all the way around the flowers with the gold. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much finished doing both sides, as you can see. Now I'm going to add the little gold around it. This is optional for you if you want. If you don't want, you don't have to. I'm going to start here on my first one here, just because I feel like it. You can start anywhere. Now, I did a slip stitch knot on my gold, and I'm going to come right in the center, the middle here of the stitch, and bring my thread to the front. I'm going to come into the next one and do slip stitch. All of this, all the way around on this is done only slip stitch. Now, because this thread is thinner, I'm using a smaller hook just so I don't have like this huge stitch on there, since it's so delicate, but I'm not tightening it up. I'm giving it enough space, stretching it a bit so it doesn't, because it's thinner and this is a smaller hook, I don't want it to be pulling too much on the thread. Okay, so just right in the center of each stitch, including the little single one here in between the petals, I'm just coming in and doing slip stitch, and I'm going to do this all the way around the same way. Coming here to where we have the attachment, so we do here on the last one. And we have the attachment here between the 4 double crochets, right? So I'm going to come right on the middle, and I'm coming right in the middle here where we attached, and just do a slip stitch also. Of course, this is like a satin thread, so it slips very easily, right? So I'm coming in the middle here, and then I'm going to continue in the center of the stitch here, just like that. And I'm going to do this all the way around, including here on where we have the single. This is where I closed off the flowers, so there's that little knot there, so I'm just going right over it. So very simple, nothing to it. You just continue to do that all the way around, and then cut your thread, and then once we're done, we're ready to do the tassel. Okay, everyone, so I've come to the end, and I've did a slip stitch on top of the very first one we did, just to lock it in. I'm going to pull my thread. Now this one here is from the first one we did. I'm going to turn it to the back, And I'm going to pull the front one into the back. And I'm just going to, where we have them, I'm going to go right across from it, like underneath, you know. So we can have them tied in pretty well. We don't want to lose any edges here, and also have a perfect finish with them. So I'm just going underneath the gold one that's there already and pull them through. Now what I like to do is I usually put a little bit, not much, a touch of nothing, a little bit of hot glue, just so it stays all together and nothing comes apart. Okay, so I have my hot gun. Hopefully it's warm enough. I mean, it's so old and so like full of glue. It's, you know, but it's only to use glue. So a tiny little bit right at the edge where we closed off, not much. And I'm just touching, you know, spreading it a bit. We don't want a thick thing of glue there. Okay. So, and then you just let it dry a bit. Okay, everyone. So we're going to do the tassel. Tassel, I think that's the name. I could be saying it wrong. I'm sorry if I am, but I try my best. So this, you can go the length you want. These are all single crochet. So we're going to start off the first one. I'm going to do the magic circle. Now, if you still can't do the magic circle, you can do a 6 chain. Okay. Now, I'm going to do 1 chain. I'm going to come back in and I'm going to do 7 more. So we're going to have a total of 8. So that's my 3rd, my 4th, my 5th, 6th, 7, and 8. I'm going to close a bit, but I'm not going to close all the way. I'm going to leave a bit of space because I need to pass these through it. And then at the end, I'll tighten it up. So I'm going to come into my first one. Just move this one aside. And I'm going to close it in with a slip stitch on my first single. I'm going to go up 1 chain. On the same space, I'm going to do a single. So I'm going to do, again, next space, single, single. I'm going to do this about 5 times, going around 5 times, so I can have that length. But if you'd like yours longer, you can cut down on the rows. Okay, this will have 5 rows. Now I've come to the first one and I'm going to slip stitch again. 1 chain going up on the same space, single, next space, single, next space, single. We're going to do this all the way around. Then it starts forming already, closing it in. So I'll meet you at the end of my 5 rows, okay? Okay, so I've done my 5 rows. I've closed in with a slip stitch. I'm going to cut a little bit longer here just so I can make sure that I tie in the loose ends. Now, of course, this is my bottom. I still did not pull my string on top because I need to get this through first, right? So I'm going just to grab and pass this through, you know, some of the spaces in here to hide it and make sure we have enough going through, because since this is like a silky thread, it's very easy to become a part. We don't need more than that, so I don't want to cut the wrong one, of course. I'll just cut a little bit here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this aside for now, and I'm going to create all of the threads there. I don't know how you call it, strings. I think strings, that's what it is. So I have my little, so old, this little box, my Q-tip little lid. So I'm going to put my thread just like that, and I'm going to go around 30 times. Okay, so hold it, make sure it doesn't come out of place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, until 30 times. If you want it thicker, you can go ahead and do more, 35, 40, it's up to you. Or longer, you will need a cardboard. You can use a cardboard or any type of thing that is square long enough for the length you want. So I've done my 30. I'm going to cut down here. And I'm also going to cut a piece of thread here because we need to tie it. We can't not have this fall apart. So I'm just going to come through here like that, pull my thread in, and I'm going to pull it right over here. And I'm going to make a couple of knots to make sure that nothing comes apart, right? I want to make sure that nothing falls apart. Now, I'm going to take it out like that, okay? So we made the knot. Now, just going to pull the string here, and I'm going to, oops, before I forget, I almost forgot. Well, actually, yes, it doesn't matter. This one's from here. Don't want to be pulling any strings. So this is the knot one, okay? Put it together. Make sure you have it nice and straightened. And then just come and roll a little bit of it here. And then roll again a little bit of it here. Okay. Now, you can glue a little bit so it does not come apart. I'm just going to put a little bit. It doesn't take much. My glue's already gone cold, so we'll wait a bit to warm it up. And another thing you can do is to make, I'm still going to glue it, people, so don't worry. So you can cut a little piece of thread. You can make a little knot here like that. Just to be more on the safe side. Then I'm just going to put a little bit. I don't need much. It's just to get these little ends well tucked in. Okay. Just going to remove my now. This is your top part, because it doesn't matter which part, I guess you're going to use it at that point. But I know it's my top because I need to squeeze it in after, right? So I'm going to just grab my thread. Oh, almost forgot. I have to make the string, sorry. So I'm going to leave a little bit of space here. And I'm going to do 22 chain. Now, if you want your chain longer, you can do more. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until 22, because I have them all the same size. I did my 22 chain. I'm going to come in on my first, and I'm going to close it in with a slip stitch. Okay, and I'm going to cut a little bit of the string a little bit longer. I'm going to come right in here where we made the knot. I'm going to pull one string through it. And I'm going to make a knot with it, well, a couple, to make sure that nothing really does come apart. About 2-3 knots, you know, to be on the safe side. Okay, I'm okay with it. Now I'm going to pull it through the center. Like that. I'm going to dress it up like a little skirt, right? And I'm just going to pull this down with my hook just to get it all pulled in. And I'm going to pull it with the back of my hook so I don't grab any of them here like that. Whoops. Now, here's my little string. I don't want the knot up top to be showing, right? So I'm just going to cover it up a bit, close it up, and grab the thread inside. Very simple to create, and just make a few knots afterwards to make sure that it's not going to come apart. I'm going to glue it just the same because this is very slippery thread. And I'm going to make a knot down here because I'm going to glue. Okay. Just going to cut the edge here. And also I'm going to cut this one here. Now, because I don't want to have this moving as I'm going to cut these pieces. I'm just going to go in and squeeze the glue in it so it does not move. It's going to stay there. Make sure you don't burn yourself, right? Because the glue comes right through it. Okay, so I'm going to finish gluing it, and then we're going to come back to cut up the edges. Okay, so you got to make sure that they're all nice and straight. You got to come in. It's going to go a little bit shorter. This is a little bit long. You have to have a good scissor for this, because if you don't, it's a nightmare. So I think pretty much have it all in. Now, straighten it out. If you have to use a comb, go ahead. Sometimes it works best. And you have to measure from the size of all of the other ones. And I'm going to make a mess. So now you're just going to cut it straight and measure with the other ones if you have the right size. Not, you know, to have them all the same size. And you just keep cutting until you have the right size. Make sure that you do both directions to sort of comb it the right directions on all. So basically what I do is what I did with the other one. Oh, so I'm going to measure it. So it's a little bit longer still. So I'm just going to cut it up a little bit more. I think I should be okay. Just going to fix it from this angle. It'll be nice and straight. Perfect. Now I have this the right size. Okay, now that I've made a mess here with all of this. Okay, so now you would grab, turn it to the back, and go onto your first flower there. So right on the center, so you have 2 on the side, 2 on the side, and 2 here on the front. You'd come here on the center where you have your single, pull your thread through it, your string, come in, and pull all the threads and just go right over it. So I'm on the back side, okay? So I can have only one line up front with the string here. I'll show you. So we have only that one line. And you do the same thing to the other side. So make sure you pull properly. And there it is. Then you'd come and do the same thing on the other side. And it's just so beautiful, isn't it? Well, my people, that does it for this tutorial. I will have a little video and photos, pictures in display at the end, the reveal shots. Thank you so much. Please do give a thumbs up. Please consider helping the women in need. Donate either through sending it to them or through my PayPal account. Everything is on the description box. I want to thank every single one of you. I send you much love, much hugs, and until the next time, bye-bye, everyone.